Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel Maverick FPL. We are here for my first and second Premier League drafts. The Fantasy Premier League is live. The game is live. I keep saying that, but the game's live. It's finally live. And you can go and make your teams as well. Log in, get your ID. It's all good stuff. Almost a million players in 24 hours have made their teams. But let's have a look at my first draft and my second draft. So on screen now, I would put my face there, but it's not going to help because you can't see me. We have got my first draft. Now, this is a no Salah and no Haaland draft. I do not think I'm going to own Haaland at the start of the season. I think he's 14 million? They broke the UI, so we can't see forwards. He is the most expensive. I did a thing about this. Yes, he's 14 million. I was correct. There is no Isak, which I'm a little bit iffy about. I would like to own him, but I think he's just a little bit expensive, and I don't think Newcastle have got the greatest fixtures starting off. So we have got, and this is potentially going to be a bench boost team for game week 1. We have got Sanchez in goal from Chelsea and Darlow from Leeds. Now, Leeds I'm not crazy about owning, but so far as I know, Darlow at the moment is their number one goalkeeper. He's just 4 million. In defense, we've got Ezri Konsa and Aaron Wan-Bissaka as the two 4.5 millions. We've got Jeremy Frimpong and Josko Vardiel as the two 6 millions, and then a 4 million Leeds defender again. Not crazy about it, but should sit last on my bench. Goodmanson. The midfield. This is where the talking points are. No Mohamed Salah, but I have got Omar Mamouche, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, Florian Wirtz, and Ahmad Diallo. There is really not too much below about 6 million in terms of midfielders. You are getting into the defensive midfielders, and they're going to be relying heavily on those defensive points that they'll be getting this season, the defensive contributions. So it's a little bit iffy. You're not sure who's going to really score. I could get like a Caicedo in, but maybe that's not it. And then up front, we've got Danny Welbeck, Chris Wood, and Dominic Solanke. Danny Welbeck should be leading the line now for Brighton Hove Albion and potentially on penalties with Pedro leaving and Evan Ferguson leaving. Chris Wood had a phenomenal season last season. I enjoyed owning him, so he is back in the team. And Dominic Solanke, he can be very frustrating in terms of the fact he's not the most clinical finisher, but that high work rate and those opening fixtures are really not bad for Spurs, particularly Burnley at home on game week 1. So Solanke could be a really good player to own. But I said I've got two drafts. So this is the first one. This is kind of the structure. I think it gives me two 6 million defenders, which could become, two Arsenal defenders, or I could change them around. I think it gives me really good flexibility. I've got a couple 4.5s. There are a lot that stand out. There's De Coupier from Brighton. There's Bissaka and Konsa who I've got. And then there's Udogi from Spurs. Midfield, lots of options, but they're all pricey. So that's why I've got Florian Wirtz. He doesn't cover the Liverpool attack, but I'm hoping with Hugo Ekitike coming in, if he's not too expensive, I might have Wirtz and Ekitike as my two Liverpool attackers instead of owning Salah. But I did make a Salah draft, and I'm pretty happy with it. So let's have a look. I'm just going to say reset. And this is what my Salah draft would look like. Let me just make sure I slide up properly so you can see it. There. This is what my Salah draft would look like. So it is the same two goalkeepers. I am eyeing Trafford from Burnley currently if he gets his Man City move back, and it looks like he's going to be the number one there. So he could come in. He's just 5 million. So he could be there instead of Sanchez. It's still Konsa. It's still Frimpong. I just think Liverpool have got very good opening fixtures. Udogi, Wan-Bissaka, and Goodmanson. So you can see Udogi could be Vardiel. So that's where we're conceding. There's no Bukayo Saka. That goes down all the way to Baleba. But Mohamed Salah does come in effectively for... Who was that? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. So Mohamed Salah's in. He would wear the armband. So we've got triple up on Liverpool. But they've got really decent fixtures. That's why Salah's probably going to be in a lot of drafts. You can see the front line does stay the same. And really, there's not much to say about this. I mean, you're looking at who you've got. So I can't have five midfielders. Effectively, Balaba's just there to kind of fill the bench, and he could do a job. Get the defensive contribution points. If he might get an attacking return, I don't know if he'll play 90. I've got 1 million, so he could become someone at 6 million potentially. I just haven't seen anyone that's really caught my eye at the moment. We'll be waiting for pre-season. But yeah, Palmer, Salah, Wirtz, Ahmad, Welbeck, Wood, and Solanke. Wood could also be João Pedro. I see he's quite popular at the moment. I don't know why that is, because they've also brought Liam Delap, Chelsea. So they've got two players there who could potentially play centre forward. So I don't know. Could be João Pedro, could be Delap, and I'm not sure about that. So we'll wait for preseason to see if it is going to be João Pedro. But I've got Chris Wood in there, old reliable Chris Wood. Yeah, I think I prefer the no Salah draft, but it is really difficult to not have Salah. And Balaba's not a horrible option. It does kind of compromise my defense a little bit. I've only got the 6 million, but 6 million's the max. So I could always change Frimpong to someone else. It could be a Van Dijk. It could be, a Gabriel, a Saliba, a Vardiol, a Rain Aitnuri. It could be one of those. Udogi's not horrible. Neither is Wan-Bissaka, particularly 4.5 million. So yeah, no, good stuff. Concerts there. Villa have got pretty good fixtures. I've got 1 million in the bank, as I said, but that could be to go from like Wood up to Ekateke or Wood up to... it won't extend quite far enough to get to Isak or Watkins, but the only people really above him is Bowen. If I want Bowen, that's about it. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with my forward line. It is the midfield where the decisions are having to be made. The defense, I think, Bissaka and Konsa will be in a lot of teams. I think maybe I'm going a bit differential with Frimpong instead of Van Dijk, but I just think he's got more attacking attributes. And, look at Trent from last season, did really, really well. He's a bit cheaper. He's got the defensive things. I think it'll be very good for Jeremy Frimpong. And then, we'll decide on a 4 million goalkeeper and a 4 million defender later to the time, but currently it's the Leeds duo. But let me know what you think about my draft in the comments down below. And what are your drafts? What are the decisions you are weighing up ahead of game week 1?